Hey guys, welcome to the Trash Picture Show. Today I went to see 65 and I enjoyed it, but I can certainly understand some of the negative reviews it's getting. It's not a terrible movie, in fact, it's a fairly solid movie, but there are some issues that can't be overlooked. The good aspects, I'll start with them. Adam Driver as Mills and Ariana Greenblatt as Koa are fantastic. Their dynamic isn't as strong as, say, the likes of Pedro Pascal and Bella Ramsey in The Last of Us, but it's still an interesting situation because Koa's character is not an English speaker, so Mills has to overcome the language barrier. But there is a very warm connection there. Mills himself, being a father who lost his child, has a high level of affection for Koa, and there are certain moments where Koa is upset or scared, and Mills takes the time to reassure her and even has the patience to let her absorb the situation they're in. There's an incredibly powerful scene, I think, where Koa is terrified and huddled in a corner, and Mills goes, "Okay, we can wait," and he gives her time to overcome her fear. And again, I think that gives an incredible level of depth to Adam Driver's character and shows a fantastic connection between the two. The other aspect of this movie I did enjoy was its depiction of the Cretaceous period. Now, not necessarily the animals, but the geographical landscape itself. It's a dangerous terrain, the plants are poisonous, the insects are dangerous. So 18 kilometers, along with the fact that there is predatory animals in the vicinity, makes it an incredibly trepidatious journey for the two, and is a very terrifying prospect to be in. One other thing I was also impressed with was the sets and the design of the jungle. I do think there was some CG used in the landscape, but I think there was some practical sets also, and that really made you feel that you were in a jungle, a primordial forest within the Cretaceous period. There wasn't just a CG landscape, it was a tactile land that both Koa and Mills had to cross, and that really helped elevate the story. So that was my positives for the film, and now for my negatives. First off, they did try to do something interesting. I'm going to be going into spoilers here, guys, but it isn't a time travel situation. It turns out Mills and Koa are from another race of humans that lived millions of years before the humans on Earth. So essentially, it's kind of like Battlestar Galactica. If and you're familiar with that, it shows that the 13 colonies, if I'm not mistaken, from Battlestar Galactica, they arrived on Earth and they done away with their technology. And that is an interesting prospect, but nothing is done with it. Mills doesn't end up dropping genetic material. If the ship had been carrying maybe embryos of humans or genetic material of humans and somehow it found its way into the ecosystem, that would have been interesting. That would have made a nice kind of twist that Mills had essentially created the human race. Or even if Mills's ship had knocked the asteroid into the path of Earth, that would have been something I think would have been interesting. Instead, we get a very just basic pulpy sci-fi story, and as a result it suffers. I think that the movie was trying to maybe coast on the idea that this was an adventure movie with dinosaurs, and the thing is, there has been a number of movies that have featured dinosaurs, but none that have lived up to the original Jurassic Park, which came out in 1993, not even the subsequent sequels. Now, it could be argued because of the cost of visual effects, there hasn't been that many. So when a dinosaur movie does come out, people get excited and expect it to be the next Jurassic Park. But I do not think you will ever have a movie that will live up to that hype. And sadly, 65 doesn't do anything to make it unique or stand out. It's essentially a by the numbers sci-fi adventure that features dinosaurs. The dinosaurs are the other problem I have with this movie. This movie has a hard on for carnivores. There is maybe one herbivore in this movie, and I can't even identify half these species. Half these species are either dromaeosaurs or stuff that was just made up on the fly. There is maybe one herbivore that's quickly dispatched, but the majority of the animals in this movie are carnivores, and a lot of them are quadrupedal for some reason. Now, that's not to say that there wasn't quadrupedal species in the Cretaceous period, but the majority of quadrupedal carnivores would have been in the Triassic period, or even before that. You would have had the likes of Dimetrodon, you would have had the likes of Postosuchus, but for some reason they plonk creatures that are reminiscent of these into this movie. Particularly at the end, I was boggled because Mills fends off two T-Rexes only to be faced with what I think is some kind of Postosuchus. It's bigger than the Rexes. Yeah, it's some weird Postosuchus species that is larger than a T-Rex. And I was just like, what the hell? This is like something if you gave crayons to a 5-year-old and asked them to draw a dinosaur, this is what it would look like. And I'm not expecting something super paleo accurate, but we've come a long way, and I think depicting dinosaurs like this is very counterproductive. Again, this isn't Walking with Dinosaurs, this isn't a documentary, but you don't have to turn dinosaurs into monsters, and I think that's what they did in this movie to make them more scary. This is from the creators of A Quiet Place, and I have a feeling they were trying to do a hybrid of A Quiet Place and Jurassic Park, and as a result, they delegitimized the creatures that were in the movie. All in all, it was a fun watch, but I would definitely wait till this comes out on streaming or on DVD. And if you're a horror fan, you're not really going to get much from this, but if you're a fan of sci-fi or sci-fi adventure or dinosaur movies, although I think if you're a dinosaur fan or a paleo fan, this movie might piss you off a bit, you might get something out of it. All in all, it was a fun flick. I don't think it's worth the price of a cinema ticket, but if you can stream it or rent it or get it on physical media when it comes out cheap, definitely check it out, because Adam Driver does a fantastic job. There is some cool aspects to it, but by and large, it's something that you might see on the Sci-Fi Channel at 6 o'clock during the day. So my name is Martin, this has been the Trash Picture Show, and yeah, have a good one.